It's good to see you again. Leadership can be defined basically as an understanding of the needs of those who will be affected by it. Tonight we'll focus on leadership at the subnational level. Good evening and welcome to another session of News, Views and Analysis. May 29, 2019 signaled the commencement of another cycle of governance at the subnational tier. 29 new governors were sworn in. In the current setting, the 2019 general elections produced first-tier timers who are now piloting the affairs of their states, while those returning for the second term are beginning to consolidate on the gains of their first tenure. As the governors settle down to provide leadership at the various states, observers express concerns about the numerous challenges confronting them as the electorate look forward to enhanced performance, accountability, transparency, and delivery of democracy dividends. Some new governors have decried high debt profile of their states, a situation they say could make governance a Herculean task. Outgoing governors have also been accused of setting booby traps. An example is the massive employment of workers for 2 weeks before the expiration of their tenure. With all of this at play, what are the assurances that the new governors will take steps to ensure that their political, social, and economic priorities are based on a broad consensus and that the voices of the poorest and those in vulnerable situations are heard in decision-making over allocation of scarce resources? Now, let's do agenda setting for the governors on tonight's edition of Weekend File. We thank you for staying with the NTA. My name is Kieran, Umeayo, and this is Weekend File. The news part starts now. Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, has held talks with governors of Yobe, Osun and Kogi states on how best to synergize in building a strong and united nation. And this was when the governors visited him after the security meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari.
This office particularly has the responsibility of coordinating government policies and also trying to build synergy with the states, because if there are policies at the federal level that do not cascade to the state and local government levels, the disconnect will be quite evident.
Agriculture for food security, navigation into mining, education, empowerment, those are the areas, the core areas of our developmental program for the states. We already started that.
We plan to consolidate and improve on the good things that are going on in your state.
Yes. In less than 3.5 years, we were able to lay a solid foundation that we are proposing to build on in our second term.
In return, the governors pledged their readiness to implement the programs and policies in all Progressive Parties' manifesto as to lay a solid foundation for development in their states. It's barely 2 weeks into the second tenure of the Buhari administration, and increased investors are already indicating interest in strengthening and expanding trade relations with Nigeria through foreign direct investment. The latest in this regard is the push by some Chinese investors to invest in health and other sectors in Katsina State for mutual benefit. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa has a report.
Governor Aminu Bello Masari stated that the doors of his administration are open to direct foreign investment in areas of special interest to the state. He assured of giving all the necessary support to the group to carry out their activities for the good people of Katsina State. Aminu Bello Masari noted that his government has been engaged in services of Chinese firms and will sustain the tempo to accelerate socio-economic development of Katsina State.
Anybody who comes with any idea that will help in helping Katsina to reposition itself once again, that company or that person or those persons are highly welcome with open hands and minds in Katsina State.
Leader of the Chinese delegation, Shai Khan, revealed that they are establishing a pilot hospital in the state to provide free treatment to people with specific health needs using Chinese herbs. Mr. Khan disclosed that under the investment, 10,000 indigenous doctors will be trained on Chinese traditional medicine to ensure effective healthcare delivery in their immediate communities. Chairman, Nigeria-China Community Economic Cultural Association, Ishola Ola Tubosun, stated that he invites the investors in order to add value to the people of Nigeria. While in Katsina State, the delegation paid an advocacy visit on the Emir of Daura, Umar Farooq Umar, to solicit for his blessings and fatherly advice. The Emir expressed appreciation to the investors for choosing his domain for the establishment of the Chinese hospital and instantly donated a land for the purpose. In Katsina, Bashir Ibrahim Nabawa, NTA News.
The continued growth in the Nigerian economy can be sustained if key players adopt the right policies with a view to insulating the economy from shocks in the global market. Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele had a session in Lagos on roadmap for greater growth, said policies formulated by the Apex Bank will further stimulate development. Bolade Salami reports.
The move by the Central Bank of Nigeria to surpass its economic policies in the development of the macroeconomic sector, as well as productivity in other key sectors of the economy, informed the gathering of stakeholders in the financial and manufacturing sector. Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele, while analyzing steps taken by the Apex Bank to confront the 2015 to 2017 massive drop in crude oil price as it affects the economy, said far-reaching measures aimed at ensuring stability in the macroeconomic sector and foreign exchange markets were taken.
Basically, what we're saying here is that we want to give them opportunity to, I'll use the word, to vent their views about what they think the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Monetary Policy Authority, should be doing in the next 5 years to support the economy and indeed to support the growth of the economy.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu emphasized the need to invest more in infrastructural development in order to encourage foreign direct investment.
In this vein, it is therefore becomes imperative that we invest more in priority areas, especially health, education, and infrastructure.
This pleads that we need to work very hard on consumer credit. Consumer credit will actually help us quite a lot. Because it will even help the government in fighting the corruption.
Management of the Apex Bank expressed the zeal to include recommendations made by stakeholders as part of its roadmap to drive growth of the Nigerian economy. In Lagos, Bolade Salami, NTA News.
62 All Progressives Congress senators-elect have endorsed Senator Ahmad Lawan for president of the 9th Senate. Secretary to the Ahmad Lawan campaign organization, Senator Jibrin Barau, unveiled the signatories before National Assembly correspondents in Abuja, during which Senator Lawan also announced his endorsement by some PDP senators-elect. Ifeanyi Ubah of the Young Progressive Party is among the signatories.
Gombe Central. We want to achieve something. We want to get there united. We want to get there focused. We want to get there and perform for the sake of our people. We are not prepared to go and start fighting amongst ourselves. We'll do everything possible to bring everybody on board, because we don't want distraction.
Senator Ahmad Lawan emphasizes the need to have a Senate that works for Nigeria. The people of Polobubo community, Ebema Kingdom in Warri North local government area of Delta State are protesting against the failure of a multinational oil company to put off a raging fire that has allegedly degraded the environment and destroyed property. The protesters were at the government house annex in Warri to drive home their demands. Eloho Abra has that report.
Angry youths, mothers and elders of Polobu, also known as Sekelewu community in Egbema Kingdom, in a peaceful protest over the failure of Chevron Nigeria Limited to put off the fire of one of their oil wells since 18th April 2019.
Drinking water that has been contaminated, like that crude water, is what we are drinking. Meanwhile, Chevron has a Umeayo flow station where they have the best purified water.
The Deputy Governor, Kingsley Otuaro, in a swift reaction, appealed to the people of the community to remain calm, as dialogue is key in maintaining peace.
We are not unaware of the fact that there is this raging fire, as you put it, close to the Polobo community in the Egbema Kingdom. And we are also aware how that Chevron is making some frantic efforts to putting that fire off.
The Deputy Governor later went into a closed-door meeting for more talks with a view to providing lasting solutions to this challenge and more. Elo Agbra, NTA News.
To mitigate persistent flooding experienced in parts of Isoko South local government area of Delta State, the federal government, through Ecological Fund Office, has inaugurated flood control project in the state. Becky Kasimawuna has the report.
The event started with a tour by the Ecological Fund Office officials to the different areas where the flood control projects are situated. The projects were inaugurated by the Director, Soil Erosion and Flood Control Department, Ecological Fund Office, Felix Okeke.
The commissioner handed over of this project to the chairman of this local government is expected to achieve a dual purpose of enabling the community to take over and start ownership of the project.
Some indigenes commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the project.
We are just starting. This is the first time you are coming here, so I will appreciate what you have done.
I wish them a very long life to do more for us.
Whosoever that have brought this project to our community have the pains of the commoners of the community at heart.
It is expected that Enwe residents will take ownership of the project, maintain and prevent indiscriminate dumping of refuse in the drainage from Enwe in Isoko South local government area, Delta State. I am Becky Kasimawuna, NTA News.
Now, the Federal Ministry of Education has set a deadline for unqualified teachers in its employ to be certified or be disengaged. According to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, by the year 2020, the teachers who are not certified will be disengaged, while qualified ones who are unemployed will be engaged. Olainko Ojo reports that he was speaking during an assessment of teachers' qualifying examination here in Abuja.
One teacher's professional qualifying examination, 60 questions with 60 minutes allotted, 30,000 candidates at 50 computer-based examination centers across the country. This 2019 first diet examination has 8,000 candidates higher than that of 2018 October diet. The exercise is to ensure quality education in Nigerian schools, as in recent times, the teaching profession has become an all-comers affair.
It shows as a teacher you have to be very vast in knowledge.
With access to quality education, one of the priorities of the present administration, the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria and the National Teachers Institute are compiling a database of qualified teachers.
We've upgraded our what we call now Quality Assurance Department. It used to be called Inspectorate. We are now having state offices in all the states of the Federation. They will be liaising, and then we've also, the second step is to re-establish the Secondary Education Commission.
The TRCM mandate covers both public and private institutions.
For unqualified and uncertified teachers, there is still an opportunity for them in October during the second diet of the qualifying examination. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Kano State Governor Abdullahi Omar Ganduje exchanges Salah pleasantries with the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, in Abuja. Both leaders spoke jointly to all Muslims to imbibe the lessons and spirit of the holy month of Ramadan. Emir Sanusi seized the opportunity to congratulate Governor Ganduje for the victory in his second term in office. In a statement, the Chief Press Secretary to Kano State Governor Abba Anwa indicates that for healthier relationship between the governor and Kano Emirate, dialogue initiated by Alhaji Aliko Dangote and the chairman of Nigeria's Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi, continues. It states further that President Muhammadu Buhari was not the one who initiated the reconciliation, as been speculated in some sections of the media. Now, the federal government delegation led by the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, has paid a condolence visit to the Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Ibrahim Sulugambari, on the death of his mother, Raliat Ibrahim. Reports that the delegation was received by the Kwara State Governor, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak.
The delegation was in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari to commiserate with the Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Ibrahim Sulugambari, on the loss of his mother, Hajia Aisha Nma Gambari, who died on the 3rd of June at the age of 110. Special prayers were offered for the repose of the soul of late Hajia Gambari. The Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Ibrahim Sulugambari, expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for the condolence and prayed Allah to continue to lead them right in piloting Nigeria. The Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, who led the delegation, also delivered a letter of condolence from President Muhammadu Buhari. The delegation has since left the state for Abuja. Raliat Ibrahim, NTA News.
Well, you're watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. With the inauguration of new governors in the states of the Federation, what should constitute their development priorities as they exercise economic, political, social, and administrative authority to manage the affairs of their states? We will get more from our correspondence reports coming up in just a short while. Join us again.
The Subcommittee on the First Lady's activities for June 12, 2019 Democracy Day celebration hereby announces the programs to be hosted by Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, wife of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, to mark the occasion. Secondary school exhibition and panel discussion and oratorical contest. Date, Monday 10th June 2019. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. These programs are strictly by invitation. Hajia Maria A.D. Rufai, Secretary, Subcommittee on First Lady's activities for June 12, 2019 Democracy Day celebration. Announcer.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hot Sports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Nigeria's premier sports production and marketing group, Hot Sports, partners with the biggest, the largest, and the #1 television network in Africa, the NTA, to give Nigerians a memorable viewing experience. Boost fan support for the Super Eagles to glory in Egypt. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Chairman, Presidential Planning Committee for the June 12, 2019 National Democracy Day celebration, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, welcomes invited guests, captains of industry, and members of the diplomatic corps to the Maiden National Democracy Day and Cultural Parade. Date, Wednesday, June 12, 2019. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. Dinner and Gala Night. Date, Tuesday, June 11, 2019. Venue, State House Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 7 p.m. These events are strictly on invitation, please. Gabriel T. Aduda, Permanent Secretary, Political and Economic Affairs Office, Secretary, Presidential Planning Committee. Announcer.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
The management of Miriam Abacha American University, Maradi, Niger Republic, the first bilingual university in sub-Saharan Africa, the management remembers the late general with love and prayers for the repose of his gentle soul. Sir, your name will continue to remain indelible in the minds of Nigerians and indeed Africans for your love, kindness and patriotism to our dear country and the continent of Africa. You are a true hero that is admired, respected and dearly missed by the majority. May Allah continue to have mercy on your soul in Ajanatul Firdaus and grant the family the fortitude to continue to bear the irreparable loss. Amen. Bala Mohammed Tukur, Director, Linkages and Collaboration, Announcer.
Turn up to more music, comedy, dance, and more. The Republic, featuring an array of Nigeria's finest. One day called Rema, Psycho YP, Fireboy DML, oh, baby, I'm getting jealous, don't wanna see. Classic Tempo, and other surprise performances. Host Sheila and Jukes the General. Date June 9th, 2019. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Red carpet 4 p.m. Main show 6 p.m. For inquiries, call 081-0302-9457. The Republic, brought to you by Edgemax Media, supported by OSGF, Sosa, Vidi La Vida, Dre and iBlend, Moscow, Eventi, and Hennessy. The Republic, turn up!
This event is part of the activities lined up for the celebration of Democracy Day 2019.
Welcome back, and let's begin our correspondence report from Maiduguri, where Jesse Tafida reports that security and accelerated reconstruction of devastated communities are major concerns of the people from the new administration.
The emergence of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum as the 7th democratically elected governor of Borno State signaled the beginning of a new dispensation. New era in governance and service provision to the citizenry is one of the beauty of democracy. This development is normally greeted with enthusiasm by the people who anticipate a more focused governance, development and surmounting challenges facing the society. Newly inaugurated democratic dispensation is usually greeted with new expectations and demands from the people. People of Borno share their hopes and aspirations from the administration of the governor.
We expect him to focus on the humanitarian aspect, to bring succor to the larger populace, and we know he has high plans to curtail hunger, starvation, and to fight poverty at all levels.
I would say sports, because it is one of the major things that unites not just a state but the world.
Good governance, so that we have another new Borno State, a new roadmap for Borno State.
Civil servants are the engine room of any government. So if any government that cannot go with civil servant, certainly he must have problem. We have a very high hope that this government will go with the civil servant.
Education and security.
Considering the peculiarities of Borno, especially the 10 years of Boko Haram insurgency, ongoing reconstruction effort, people of Borno look up to the new administration for purposeful service. In Maiduguri, Jesse Tafida, NTA News.
From Lafia, Joshua Ojito reports that the people of Nasarawa State equally share the aspiration of the new government under Engineer Sule Abdullahi in consolidating the gains of democracy in all sectors.
Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy, even though the state prides itself as home of solid minerals.
Since creation in 1996, successive administrations have anchored their development agenda around boosting these natural resources and human capital. But like the proverbial Oliver Twist, the state is in dire need of more in the areas of infrastructure and good governance to fulfill the dream of founding fathers.
That I will be faithful.
Abdullahi Sule is the fourth democratically elected governor
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
His administration opens a new vista for socio-economic development of the state, anchored on campaign promises, which, among others, to harness the abundant resources in the state, create job opportunities through public-private partnership, as well as unlock the economic potentials of Kefi-Karu corridor in line with industrialization agenda. This is with a view to raise the revenue profile of the state.
The moment that is addressed, okay, I think that the economy of the state will do well.
Since a significant percentage of the people rely on agriculture, there are calls for the new administration to focus more on the development of the sector.
We over-depend on oil. I think it's high time we shift our motives to the agricultural sector.
And I want the new government to focus more on the youth empowerment.
Beyond these demands, the people say completion of all ongoing projects is key to sustainable development of the 23-year-old state, while health and improving welfare of civil servants should also remain a priority. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And in Lagos, the continuity slogan continues under the new governor, Sanwo-Olu, who is also of the APC. Regardless, Tunde Saike reports that challenges of completing ongoing projects, maintaining a clean mega city, and making civil servants happy also exist.
The successful inauguration and handing over of the mantle of leadership from Akinwumi Ambode to Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Lagosians expect more from the government of Governor Sanwo-Olu.
Going on the rail too, so they make sure they finish it, because the rail will be useful for Lagosian, so that it will lift some of the headache we are having on hold up.
Let him do the wonders this young man did in Ekpe. What's his name? The governor Ambode. Turn the rural Ekpe into like New York City. Fashola also did his own in Surulere. We want something like that. When we want to drive to the palace, drive to here, drive in Lagos, we also want Appian ways there.
Once he's able to settle the issue of healthcare, accommodation, and even waste management, then I think every other thing will fall in place.
Some area boys, they are graduates. You should empower them to make Lagos be a better way.
If we can focus more on low-cost in-house estates, security is one of the major world problems in Lagos. If we can do that, good luck to him.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu promised a government of continuity and adhering to the tradition of enlightened government set by his predecessors. To achieve this, a framework of 5 pillars of development tagged themes has been formulated to drive his administration.
Let us vow to ourselves and to prosperity that we shall not just dream of a greater Lagos. Let us agree this day that we shall collectively rise up to build the Lagos of our dream.
There is a need for a collaboration among the people and the government in seeing to the success of this developmental agenda. Lagosians are hopeful that in the next 4 years, they will be counting the gains achieved from the new administration. In Lagos, Tunde Saike, NTA News.
In our next report, Chukwubike Chukwu gives an insight into the expectations of the people of Imo State from the new Ihedioha-led administration.
With the new administration in the state settling down for business of governance, expectations of the people are high, though the government has outlined good governance, human capital development, job creation, and integrated infrastructure development as its main thrust. The masses are still desirous of the needed change.
I agree with those who say agriculture is the highest potentials, and I want us to realistically confront agricultural development. Take Imo, for example, a place like Adapam. If properly developed and harnessed, that can maintain the economy of Imo State. palm oil from that territory, if properly harnessed, can sustain the economy of Imo State.
Now it's time to restore the judiciary system in Imo State.
And not just to rebuild, but to create a modern democracy and economy.
First of all, there's going to be a form of moral rearmament that will now form the basis of the proposed stabilization and the economic empowerment of the people.
They called on the people to be patient with the new administration in the state to bring the much-needed dividends of democracy in Owerri. Chukubike Chuku, NTA News.
And you're still watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. Our guest tonight is actually Dr. Anthony Chibo Christopher. He's an economist and, of course, a strategist at the Swiss Business School, Zurich, Switzerland. He will be joining me in just a moment to, of course, look at the agenda setting for the incoming administrations in the various states of the Federation. Do stay with us.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspots, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all 52 games will hit your screens in crystal clear digital quality. It's your guarantee of a memorable viewing experience and a wonderful cost-effective opportunity for corporate Nigeria to reach tens of millions of Nigerians. For sponsorship and commercial support, contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. Hot Sports, masters of the game. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Pitching the big idea. It doesn't come easy. You gotta put in the hours. Roll with the punches and take on the pressure. But you will power through. Then step onto that stage and hit them with that idea. You, my friend, are unstoppable. Power Horse. Unstoppable you. Grab your new malt rush. Power Horse, official partner of Manchester City Football Club.
Ever since he could hold the bat, Charles wanted to play like his big brother. Victor had skills that matched the best in the land. Never mind, little brother. Drink your Dano milk and keep practicing. So that is what he did. And step by step, glass by glass, the boy grew in spirit and strength. Drink your Dano milk and be strong.
Also available in Dano Cool Cow, Dano Slim, and Dano Flavored Milk. Choose Dano. Choose goodness.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
All right, this is Weekend File, and join me as I welcome Dr. Anthony Chibo Christopher, whom, of course, I've told you earlier on is an economist and strategist at the Swiss Business School, Zurich, Switzerland. Dr. Christopher, you're welcome to
Thank you
Weekend
very
File.
much, Kieran.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Now, in terms of task ahead, what is the magnitude of the variables, at play ahead of the new governance?
The magnitude is tremendous. But you know what? I'm going to take you down the line that's not often heard, because there's a very serious thing going on. There's the gap between Africa, and in this case Nigeria now, and the other developed countries is widening. All indicators show that. And it's very important that that gap not only is brought together, but it's totally eliminated. Now, the agendas of what should be talked about by governors now and everything should be, of course, will be set naturally by them establishing the correct goals. And, of course, determining how those goals will be met. That's the important thing. What are the goals? And I am saying that the goals right now, most important thing right now, is to make sure that socio-economic development within their states, using their resources, is in line with the fourth industrial revolution. That's why I said I'm going to take you on a line that is not really talked about. But it's important. We are missing it because we have issues. You hear people talking about, education. Yes, education, but education in line with the fourth industrial revolution. Jobs in line with the fourth industrial revolution.
Now, could you explain the correlation? Let's understand the problem.
It's very important because right now the world is going through a fourth industrial revolution. What's that? It's a conglomerate of advanced technologies, 5G and even 6G, artificial intelligence, robotics, and the likes, the Internet of Things. It's happening, and jobs and production and life is progressing in that line. And if we're going to join, in fact, it's important to understand that predictive analytics, this is what I practice in economics, states that in the next 30 years, the definition of what a human being is, the benchmark definition of what a human being is, will change. If you're not in line with what is happening now, there will be a drastic demarcation in our species. The species of those that are enhanced by technology and those that still are not in line. So, yes, education, yes, jobs, roads, everything necessary, but I had to come here and tell you, they must be done with the focus of this fourth industrial revolution. It is dangerous if we don't.
And that fourth industrial revolution is technologically driven, from what I've explained.
It is technologically driven.
I happen to have been privileged, to cover science and technology for a very long time.
Right.
And I understand that you were talking about 5-6G. We were still trying to grapple with the 4G and are going up there.
Yes.
But you see, if you've listened to some of the respondents in the reports that we've just shown, we find out that people are talking about what really, concerns them directly, like taking care of civil servants, human angle issues, education, security, youth empowerment, roads, and what have you.
Yeah.
Now, are we going to do a leap, when we have not really established a foundation? How do we now move to that technological base when we're still grappling with some mental issues?
Beautiful question. You see, the beauty about the fourth industrial revolution is I believe it's a God-sent window, to use your word, to leapfrog into the existence of the developing countries. Why do we say that? You see, what is happening right now is that we can take advantage. We can do both. We can provide the jobs. We can provide the civil service by investing in the one and only most important resource each state has, including the federal state, which is the human resource. So invest in the human resource for them to have the skills and capacity to play and to earn in the skills of the fourth industrial revolution. Now, it's not fantasy. There is a company called Andela. Andela is an American company that is investing in our human resources, changing our human resources to human capital to earn money for themselves. And I am saying, provide the jobs for your people, for our people, by investing in them as human capital, human resources, make them now human capital, and provide these services in the 4G revolution. So what have you done? You've provided good jobs, you've provided good earnings, and you've provided economic interaction for your country in the world trade balances for you to operate in the 4G. So it can be done. What the yearnings of the people are can be done. And a good shortcut, let me call it shortcut, is provide the jobs. Provide the jobs by investing in your human resource, convert your human resource to human capital, but not just aimlessly. Target those jobs, target the skills that are needed today in the fourth industrial revolution. And all those yearnings shall be done.
Now, let me bring you back home.
Or at least most of them.
You appear to be giving us a kind of a diasporic view of what should be done. But looking at Nigeria and our level of development, right. I'd like you to come from that aspect of our level of development, which of course is someone said we are still at a foundational level. When we're still talking about water, about education, talking about security, we're talking about environment, we're talking about cost of housing and what have you.
Yes.
Could you just talk to these new governors, especially the first timers, on what you are trying to explain? How can that be gotten, given the fact that already we're at a very low development is at the lowest ebb? How would you now, start moving to the level you are talking about?
Yes, I've had the opportunity to talk to about 3 of them, and what I told them was, innovation is the key. There's no room now for doing it the way it was done before. Innovation is your saving grace, and what do I mean by that? The states that you are manning must be run as a business. The rules of business now should apply to your state. And not only a business, but a business that is profit-seeking. So what does that mean now? You run your state as a business to seek profit, and therefore you're seeking markets. Use your resources, like I said before. Use your resources. Invest in your human capital as your resources. Develop them to be able to earn money for your state. I repeat, develop your human resource. The first thing you can do, the easiest, it's easy to talk, but let me give a practical example. You have human resources. Develop your human resources with the skills that can earn money now for your state, but not as a development program, but as a business, a transparently run business accountable to the people. In this case, profit will be 2 things. 1, profit as we know it, which is revenue that exceeds what you put in. But profit will now be the socio-economic development. Your profits go into the roads. Hello, sir. Your profits go into the hospitals that are needed. Your profits go into sanitation, which are needed. And don't forget, you're accountable to the people. And that is innovation. And we have to think this way. It is now far-fetched. If we just have to come out of the box we were in, into this box I'm talking about, which is not even a box, it has to be done.
Okay, let's talk about the constitutional provisions of this country. All the states have one natural resource or the other.
Yes.
We do not have the powers to actually tap those resources to increase their revenue base.
Right.
So every state relies on the federal allocation that comes every month.
Right.
Now, advise these governors on how to multiply whatever they get from the federal allocation, to see how they can also create a revenue base in their states to be able to have enough to, of course,
to invest.
Yes.
Yeah, you said something very important. When you're setting up a business in your external environment, like I said, you have obstacles. One of the obstacles I just want to mention will be policies that are even from your own national government. Tackle that one as a group of people. But while you're doing that, there are many other opportunities because the land is yours. Arable land is there. So agriculture is there for you to do. And nobody's stopping you from playing in the WTA rules in agriculture. So once again, apply the technologies, because when you go in the fourth industrial revolution, people think it's computer. No, it's biotech, nanotech. It plays across all industries. So let's now take agriculture. Take agriculture and make sure you are playing in the business of agriculture from the production to throughout the whole value chain. Don't just grow the raw materials and export. No. Acquire the technology to process that industrialization. Your state can industrialize with the money
that it's being given. Invest in it. And while you're investing in that industrialization, watch what you're doing. You need the manpower to meet up with what I have just said. The manpower comes from your state. Invest in them. Once again, back to my first statement. Invest in them as human resources. Change them to human capital within the agricultural sector. It's massive. From those that are planting, to those that are maintaining equipment, to the marketing. You see, if you're going to produce goods, you're going to produce them to world standards. So those world standards and negotiations, there's a group of people that are specialized in that. Train a group of people provide jobs by training them to be able to go out to Switzerland, to go out to Sweden and market what you have. They will go through hurdles. They will be looked down upon. But you see, copy the standards. Get the equipment to copy the standards and you get that. That is, so while you're waiting for the licenses for you to operate solely your gold, take advantage of your land.
You know, we're talking about governance at the subnational level.
Okay.
We have the national level, which to a reasonable extent, controls the subnational level based on policies, constitutional provisions, and what have you.
Right.
How would they be able to, come out of, some of the constitutional setbacks that may not allow them to expand their horizon?
Yes.
And be able to do what you are talking about. You mentioned biotechnology or nanotechnology.
Yeah.
Just a few months ago, that biotech policy about biotech law was signed into law just a few months ago.
Yes,
so
exactly.
whatever action being taken by the Minister of Science and Technology over the years have not yielded any dividend because of this setback.
Yes.
Now talking about nanotechnology, we have just an agency called NASENI, which is working on nanotechnology, but that's where it stops, right? There's no policy that is enlarging the coast of science and tech in Nigeria. So that's one point you have to take note of, and let us know what to do.
You've said a lot of things. I want to remember all to respond to all that you have said. But let me start with the one that I'm wary of using the word restructuring because it means another thing. But it also means what I want to say. In development of a nation, the structure, that's why I use restructuring, the structure for development in a nation actually starts from the local government. In this sense, I mean cities, towns, villages, and of course the states. And from the states, it moves up. So we have a small issue there. The issue here is that most of the policies and visions of the federal ought to be state policies. Most of the agents that are actually federal agents actually needs to be different 36, is it 30? Yeah, 37, 36 and 32. Yeah, state agencies, state programs and state projects. So something has to be done about that because the true inclusive social economic development is actually when Enugu is actually looking at playing in nanotechnology, where there is an interplay between Enugu State University and Enugu State government coming together in synergy to create business. Because, I was talking about human resources to human capital. In many cases, we already have the human capital. They're in Los Angeles. They're professors. They are already in the fields. Bring them back and everybody's interested in business. That is why I said they should operate as businesses. Bring them back with business options to integrate and interact with the universities, which is what the universities are all supposed to be about. I'm talking of the state universities. And also the federal that are in this state. These things I'm saying are the structures of development. You bring them back, let them interact together in research, as a business, and export their findings out for profit. So the states is actually, and the local government, my friend, are actually the focus of development. Here, it is more of a focus on the national. We have to say it one day. It has to stop. While the national is doing it, and should be doing it well, and providing vision and development services, that must be replicated in the state. I actually want to say it must be replicated in the local government as well. You know, we cannot beat development rules to our beat. We have to succumb to the rules researched programs of development. If we are really going to develop, my brother, we need to start developing from the states upwards.
All right, and a number of experts have also on this platform said it many times. That what the nation lacks is actually to play up our interest in science, technology, and innovation, and that's exactly the background of what you have told us this evening. And at this point, I'd like to thank you immensely for sharing your thoughts and, of course, your wealth of experience on this very subject matter. But thank you very much indeed. I've been speaking with Dr. Anthony Chibo Christopher, an economist, strategist at the Swiss Business School, Zurich, in Switzerland. And you're watching Weekend File. We'll be back very shortly with Sports Update.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hot Sports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Nigeria Super Eagles on Saturday played a goalless draw with Zimbabwe in a friendly played at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, Delta State. Olumide Guntola has the details on Sports Update.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria